Hey folks, Barry here. Not too long ago, I was in the market for some new red dots. And the biggest question that I think a lot of people had, like me, was should I stick with what I know or should I go with one of these new fancy closed emitter dots? And there's upsides and downsides to both. I've always used open emitters, so going all the way back to my regular old Trigicon RMR, got a couple of those. That's the one that I've really first learned red dots on, like I'm sure a whole lot of us did. This lighting's all messed up. Anyway, and most of the guns that I compete with or carry or just shoot regularly are going to have some kind of an open emitter dot. So these Holosun 507, 407 series, I love these. I think that they're excellent and they don't cost a fortune. Got them on everything, and I've even gone down to something like this is the Swamp Fox that I've got on my little Taurus here because I'm not a revolver guy, but if I can put a red dot on it, I want it. So there's that. As far as going to a closed emitter, there's some definite advantages there. The big one that I think most people will think of is that with an open emitter, of course, if you've got rain or anything that when the gun's holstered, if it's going to get in there while you're shooting, if anything might fall in and occlude the dot, cover up the emitter there, then obviously your dot's not going to work. I don't carry a gun in any professional capacity. I don't have one out on my hip. I don't carry openly. The only time that I'm carrying is going to be concealed. And so this is going to be in a holster, typically appendix. It's going to be underneath a shirt, underneath a jacket, underneath a good old drug rug here, whatever it happens to be. So the likelihood of something like rain or snow or dirt or whatever getting in there just during daily wear is pretty slim. I don't think that that's really a huge deal for me. And again, this is just for me. So like everybody, of course, can have their own specific requirements, things that they want to have. This is specifically to me and to kind of give examples and explanations of why I've done what I've done. And so again, an open emitter for me is fine because like I said, I'm not carrying it openly. There's not a lot of chance of that stuff getting in there. Now, if I find myself in a case where I've got to have the gun out for an extended period of time, I'm going to be having it out, for anything more than just a couple of minutes at a time. Sure, there's going to be that possibility where, if I'm shooting a match or something, there could be rain falling in there, it could be mud getting in there, whatever it happens to be. That's certainly possible. From a just daily carry perspective, that's really far down on my list of concerns. So that being said, a closed emitter in that particular respect doesn't appeal to me a whole lot. It doesn't add a lot of value. And on the point of value, of course, the common closed emitters, you're going to have your Holosuns. The Acro, of course, is sort of I don't want to say it started at all because I don't know that it really did, but Acro has gained a lot more popularity, especially once the P2 came out. They improved some battery life stuff on it. But they're not inexpensive, or they weren't. I've noticed those prices have come down quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. I don't know what that means for anybody, but they're pretty much on par with an RMR now. So take from that what you will. But of course, just like the RMR, the RMR comes out and somebody wants to make a cheaper version, cheaper option that's going to try to check enough boxes to be a viable option. So after the RMR came out, you got like the Holosun, for example, and now you've got 100 different companies making their versions of whatever. And as many of you will know, the way that a lot of those are made is they're all made in a single factory. What you do is you select this product from the factory's website or salesperson, whatever. You tell them that's the one I want. I want my name engraved on this side. I want my logo engraved on this side. I want this slight difference on the top, whatever it happens to be. And here's the documentation, whatever. The factory makes the optic. They engrave your logo on it. They'll print up the paperwork for you, the user manual, whatever. They'll customize your packaging however you want it, and then they'll ship it out. So depending on the options that you choose, your price going from just that base option to, you know, your final retail point can vary. And so you've probably noticed, and there's been some talk recently on the internet about a particular style that a bunch of different companies are using that style in order to putting their name on it and selling it. Again, the price points vary anywhere from, you know, I've seen some go from $150, $200, $300, $350, whatever, depending on the brand that you choose. I'm not going to name any particular brands because this isn't about shaming them or anything. This is just about pointing out what one particular company decided to do, having all of this knowledge. And that company is Atibal. Now, Atibal's been around for a while. They make a lot of optics, a lot of scopes, a lot of stuff. I've honestly never paid a whole lot of attention to them because, just like I've been saying, they're just Chinese manufactured optics that don't, I mean, what do they do? They're clones, they're knockoffs. I don't want to call them knockoffs, but, you know. So I never really gave them a whole lot of thought. And then about a month and a half ago, something like that, one of the, I believe the CEO of Atibal had posted something, a sale on one of their optics that they had coming out. And it is a acro clone. So it's a closed emitter optic. It uses the acro footprint. But what was interesting is on the product page, they tell you straight up, like, hey, this is the same dot that 10 different companies are making. They're charging you this much. We're only going to charge you this much. Like, it doesn't cost us much to make these things. So why should we charge you a fortune for it? A bonus to that is a portion of the proceeds from sale of every one of those dots was being donated to a charity called, gosh, I'm going to get this wrong. I hope not, but I'll have a link for it. Resilient Warriors, I believe is what it's called. And so with your purchase of this dot, they were giving a donation to the charity. You also had an option to donate a little bit more. I donated a little bit more, but not, I'm not made of money, unfortunately. Otherwise, I wouldn't be buying these optics. And all told, they were able to donate about $5,000 to the organization. So that's cool. And I, for one, can always appreciate when a company is, one, in on the joke, and two, using that for a good cause. So I went ahead and I actually ordered two of them. I ordered this here, Atibal SRD-E closed emitter optic. What does SRD stand for? Well, this is the same red dot. The same red dot you're going to get from a bunch of other different companies with their company name and their logo printed on it for $100 more, or even more, because yeah, there are some that are running $350 or so. And I will tell you that this one was $123.45. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it was inexpensive and because of the donations going out, like I said, I bought two of them. So I bought the same red dots. And as an extra option, I bought a limited edition same tactical dot. So yes, I got an STD from Atibal. And it's been a lot of fun talking about this already. You know, talking online, people saying, "Have you gotten it yet?" And I says, "No, I'm still waiting for Atibal to give me my STD." So this is the SRD. This is the special edition STD. The SRD is the exact same thing. So again, it is a just real quick. This is empty and clear. So again, this is an acro footprint optic. It is a closed emitter. It's a 3 MOA dot, just like all your others. It's got your brightness adjustments on the side. It's got windage and elevation adjustments. It's got, it's kind of hard to tell, but it does actually have little like iron sights built into it on the back there. So I guess if you've got a suppressor height sights on your gun, then they would be able to use that front sight and then those kind of built-in rear. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, just got this in today, so I've mounted it on my PDP. I really want to try this out and use it a whole bunch, but I don't quite want to put it on a gun that I carry yet. Obviously, you don't just rush out into the world with an untested platform. So yeah, so I've got it on here. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to shoot it a whole bunch. I'm going to beat it up. Like I said, I've got a second one on the way. I'm actually going to be putting that on an AR because they can mount on ARs, and I like the idea of that small thing. Oh, this actually is, I should mention, is on a forward controls acro mounting plate. So just to have that clear. And I don't know if you can see, there's like a tiny little bit of a gap. Well, not right there, but underneath. Anyway, it mounted great, mounted nice and quickly and easily. I had to use my own tools because the tools that came with it were a little funky. And Atibal already mentioned that if you ordered it with the RMR plate, they're going to send you a different plate. Because, of course, the plate that comes with it is from China, and it was not going to work. So they're going to go ahead and make that right. If you bought it with the RMR plate, they're going to send you a separate plate. But so, like I said, I've got another one coming. It's going to go on an AR on a good old Reptilia Corp acro mount. So as soon as that's in, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing not only how it holds up on this, but how it holds up to 223, 5.56. I'm going to put it on a 9mm AR and try that out. So that being said, again, this is the Atibal SRD-E STD, and I'm really looking forward to getting out and shooting this, see what it's all about. So that's it for now. I'll be back, hopefully with some good news. All right, so I'm out here gonna do some shooting with the Atibal. That's the STD on the Walther PDP, and also on my little 9mm AR. I will say that at this point, I've shot this one about 500 or so rounds. The first 100 was just to kind of function check it and confirm zero, get that zero set. And then this past weekend, I shot it through a Project Appleseed pistol clinic, which was a lot of fun, by the way. You should check it out. And so that was about another 400 or so rounds, and I don't know, I've got a couple hundred rounds left here today, so I'm gonna try to just burn through as much of it as I can, because why not? I will say that thus far through, like I said, about 400 or so rounds, 500 rounds I guess on this one, The zero's been holding up. It's been holding up just fine. The only issue, and I hesitate to call it an issue because it was purely my fault, I'm sure, was the mounting plate actually came a little bit loose. I took it off. I don't know if maybe I didn't let the Vibratight set long enough or whatever, but it came a little bit loose. The dot itself never lost zero, but you could tell there was a little bit of play in the optic plates. The optic mounted to the plate never came loose, so want to make sure that that's clear. One thing I did notice also shooting during this Appleseed was that this particular gun, since it does have the compensator and now it's got a somewhat heavier optic than I would normally have on it, did have some cycling issues. That's not an uncommon thing, particularly with the compensators. Easy fix for that is typically just to change out the recoil spring. I'm not going to do that because typically I shoot just 124 grain or 147 grain anyway. The only issues I had were with the 115, which is, again, not at all unexpected. But one thing that did give me was plenty of opportunity for clearing feeding issues. And so one of the things that I made sure to do as I experienced those issues during the course was anytime I had to go and clear it, I was doing it straight off the top of the optic. All right, I wasn't coming up here, I wasn't slingshotting, I was making sure to grab right onto that optic. Today I'm gonna try to be a little tougher. I'm just gonna smash it here on the bed of the truck. Starting out, I've got a bunch of snap caps and I've got some empty brass that I'm gonna load up and put in here just in case I get lucky and have no problems with the ammo. I'll at least still be able to get some of that testing done. Won't do anything like that with the AR, obviously, because I mean, you can't really rack an AR by smashing the optics, so that it is what it is. But we'll get tested on this. I got some targets downrange here that I'm going to be shooting at, and just kind of go through and shoot as much of this as I can before I get tired. I'm an old man and I get tired. So let's get to it. All right, ready to get going here. See how it does. That one's empty. So that's one you can't fix by just smashing it. Well, that's it. That's the last one, but it did get jammed up in there. Give it a good whack. So, holding up so far. Let's load up and keep going. All right, I don't have an assistant here loading up mags for me, so I got to take a little break once in a while and load stuff up. But here we go again. That was weird. Oh well. Show must go on. Lock that back. Here we go. Well, okay. Yeah, I've been inducing a whole bunch of little malfunctions, just kind of smashing that thing as much as I can. Like I said, I did a whole bunch of it over the weekend. Let's see if you can see. Front of that's getting pretty beat up, but that's okay. It's supposed to. Let's see. Hasn't come loose or anything. That's good. Now I'm going to set up an actual target, and we'll check to make sure it's still zeroed. All right, been smashing this around, so I'm just gonna check, see how it still patterns on the target. Hopefully we haven't lost much zero. You'll notice I'm not setting this up on a bench, on a rest, on a bag, anything like that. So it's entirely possible that any variations or, you know, anything that maybe looks bad is possibly me, obviously. But I'm gonna do my best because that's what I got. So. And I've got a pair of B8 targets set up here at 10 yards. And some cycling issues because, duh, we knew that. And I'm shooting a whole bunch, so. One didn't load. Yep. Okay. So, I can tell you from here, the zero is about an inch to the left. It's not low and left, which typically is what you'd see if your support hand grip is given out, if you're just not gripping the gun right. But the pattern is very nice. It's very tight. So I think that this may be me. This may need to go, a click to the right. I should mention again that, like I said, when I put that refastened that plate and put the optic back on it, I did not zero it after that. So it's possible that when I put the optic back onto the mount, the zero shifted slightly to the left. But like I said, the group that was 12 or 15 shots, and the group is about yay big, 2 inches, 3 inches. We'll walk down there a second. I'm going to shoot the second target with this one here first. Not sure how many are in here. I'm just going to dump those out of there. Okay. So, yeah, two targets. This one looks almost exactly the same. Hits are just off to the left, maybe a tad high. So let's just walk down there and look. All right. It's about what I expected, but like I said, the groupings are still good. So the dot looks like it's not technically zeroed, I guess, but it's holding steady where it is. So this was the first set, as I said, a little off to the left, a bit high, had a little flyer here, but almost all of them stacked up in a nice little group. Second set, same kind of thing, slightly left and up a tad. But I'll tell you, if you're shooting this just like a standard B8, let's see, this is kind of low now. Whoa, where are you going? If you're shooting that, scoring it like a standard B8, this is all going to be, this is all 10s, all 9s. Got one X down here, a whole bunch of 10s, couple 9s. So, although, like I said, it's not technically zeroed, the dot is staying put. It hasn't shaken around. It's not up here, then down here, then over here, little groups over, whatever. So, I'm gonna call that a success because I think that's a good way to measure it. I will get it zeroed properly. Like I said, I just put this back together a couple days ago, so first time I'm shooting it since then. In the meantime, let's go shoot that AR. All right, now so we got the SRD red dot on this here AR9. Let's shoot it a bunch. Oh. Ah. I don't think it likes this ammo. Not surprising, of course. All right, well, so let me say this. The dot tracks really well. I've got the brightness turned up a little bit because I am out here in the desert and it's kind of bright. but no blooming, nothing like that, nothing that's standing out that making me think that it's come loose or anything like that. I will note that this is on a Reptilia Corp mount. I love Reptilia Corp mounts. So I got 2 more magazines of this loaded up, so I'm just going to burn it down. Here we go. This is actually some different ammo, so maybe this will eliminate some problems. We'll see. That's hot. One more. So, hey, different ammo. Yeah, okay, so again, the dot's tracking really well. Super easy to see, super easy to shoot through this. Having absolutely no problems seeing the dot, keeping track of it, anything like that. Something about refresh rate. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm a political scientist. But that's it. That's all I'm going to shoot today. So, what do you say we head back and talk about this a little? Let's go. So back from the range, just a quick little wrap up on the Atibal SRD-E. Again, I took it out on my Walther PvP. 650, 700 rounds or so through it now. Does seem to be holding up just fine. I did smash it up a bit. 0 on it. Seems to be holding as far as the accuracy of it. After I remounted it on the plate, I did not go back and re-zero it. Previously, I had it zeroed for I had set it as 7-yard zero, specifically because I was going to do this Appleseed shoot this past weekend, and all that's shot at 7 yards, so I figured I'd just go ahead and cheat that a little bit. I will be taking it back to Sportsman's Elite, nice local shop here, and I'm going to re-zero it, but I'll be doing it with the Federal HST, the stuff that I typically would carry in it. I'd rather have that zero, obviously, and I'll be able to make some marks on here so that I can set a second zero for, the 115 or whatever stuff that I might want to be using. So the final-ish verdict from me is that I kind of love it. And I think I had said from the start that I want to love it because it checks a lot of the boxes that I want without spending a fortune, which is great these days, obviously. If cost was not an issue, I don't know that I would have bothered, obviously. Other than I like the way that Atibal went about it. They're, it's very tongue-in-cheek. They know what they're about as far as, this optic goes, and a couple others. So I'm very happy with it. I'm probably shoot another 1,000 rounds or so through it before I decide that, yeah, I'm okay with this being something that I would carry daily. As I said at the beginning in the sort of intro video, my requirements for a daily carry gun are very different than someone who may be carrying it on duty in an open holster, something like that. I think that as far as what I've seen so far, this is going to meet the requirements that I have, which is to basically stay zeroed, stay on the gun, and be on when I want it to. I don't have a lot of very heavy requirements as far as drop testing. I didn't drop it. I didn't bother dropping it because I'm not going to say that I don't drop guns, because everybody does. The only people who don't drop guns are those who haven't dropped guns yet. It happens. I get it. But in the context of my daily life, it's just not a likely scenario. Now, hitting it on the tailgate of my truck to clear malfunctions, that might be more likely. That seems like a more likely scenario than having the gun be dropped from shoulder height or whatever. If you want to see that, you can go and check out Aaron Cowan's video on the C&H Precision red dot that is very similar to this one. He did do his drop test on that, so you can go check that out. As far as, so that's the pistol. On the AR, same kind of thing. It held up just fine. I didn't bang it around. I didn't beat it up or anything. I don't have any real concerns about it coming loose or anything like that on this particular gun. A lot of that has to do with the reptilian mount. That thing is rock solid. But I'm going to leave this on here for a bit and see how it goes. It'll get bounced around a bit in the truck, driving out to the range or whatever. But not going to take too much abuse. This gun's not really built for that. So that's that. I'm honestly considering now getting a third one of these to put as an offset on one of my other rifles, my 18-inch sort of medium longish range AR, because I know that I can get a really good mount for that for an offset, and I think that it would do a lot better than the horrible Burris that's on there right now. The Burris was free. I didn't pay for that. Well, I guess I did. I found it at a pawn shop on a Glock that I bought. So it's doing fine. But I think that would be a great one to put as an offset. And again, that's something that's probably not going to get banged around. It doesn't get shot a whole lot. I don't take that gun out a bunch. But one way or another, I think I'll end up doing that. So in summation, the Atibal SRD-E STD enclosed emitter optic, I think is going to be an excellent choice for a lot of folks who want a fairly rugged, pretty darn sturdy closed emitter optic and don't want to spend acro money on it. So that's it for now. As always, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I love reading them and I try to reply to everybody, sometimes obnoxiously. And also, as always, if you're local to me, you know where I'm at, you know where to find me. Let's go out and shoot this stuff. Try it out, see how you like it. So that's it for now. See you guys later.